Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our daily disclosure show. Full disclosure for everybody. This is our afternoon stream at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. How's everybody feeling? Actually, I did. Give me one moment. Okay, beautiful. I was like, it looks very, very dark. And it's like, okay, oh, the lights are not on. Beautiful. All right. Uh-oh, I didn't get a notification. Did the live go through? Pretty sure it did. Let me check it. Ah, there we are. Beautiful. So today we are going to talk about the catalyst of the heart for this afternoon and really understanding, what it's going to take to really break open the whole back part, of the heart where we have a massive block there, massive, I would say just not really owning up, to yourself, really claiming yourself, which ultimately would claim your own spirituality, claim your own divinity for yourself. There's a sense of displacement, within humanity where we've gone through so many different things on this planet through our life. At this point, we've identified with so much of the dysfunction and things we had to endure and suffer through to where we don't feel we are anything else besides that, right? And we get to this certain issue with this process where, the human being doesn't want to let go of the pain and suffering, doesn't want to allow or accept that there's actually higher forms of a big spirituality for itself to actually experience. And so that block, that choosing not to be vulnerable with yourself, thus allowing yourself to expand and really open up, these are a lot of things that humanity has chosen to bypass, deceive ourselves on, and choose that we don't deserve them. We actually ultimately are not worthy of these. Why? Because we hold this sense of discipline, to ourselves. We're in a lot of this where it takes place just like the child in early life, but also moving up and growing, through life and becoming an adult. There's also a lot of moments, when we realize that the amount of dysfunction that's occurred, a lot of that is what we have identified so much with that if it were to actually disappear, if say the scenario occurred when it actually all did disappear, what actually then would replace that? And there's a massive fear with the unknown, refusal really to open up to the unknown possibilities, things that far exceed outside your ability to conceive them, but yet they're still there. They're still very much part of your reality in every way, and you're aware of it. That's why we have fears. That's why we have things that are limitations or bypasses towards it, because we actually don't want to look into the deep unknown, the things that we aren't aware of. It scares humanity. And because humanity chooses to motivate themselves and live in life through fear-based motivation, and empowerment, you get to the point where they don't know themselves without the fear. You get to the point where when the beautiful magic actually starts to trickle in, it's almost like a reaction. It's an actual jerk away, because it's too overwhelming, because so much has been attached to the lower timeline, the lower perspective and experiences, that they've kind of written off the conceivable future that they would actually get there. You see, and that's the insanity. Where humanity will endlessly, relentlessly drive themselves towards a goal or a dream or something that they wish to obtain, yet they've also written off every chance or opportunity they feel they have in actually getting there. So they've actually settled for the endless, lifelong, head rush, purposefully nowhere into the future where they actually reach the end. And there's a lot of people around get to the deathbed and get to the old age where they actually have longer moments to slow down, longer moments to actually ponder these things, Whereas when they were a lot younger, they were way more impulsive. They were too stimulated by the external. They would just go, 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 and never slow down for themselves, never actually pause and actually had a reflection moment deeply into their life of how far they've come, where are they going, where are they at right now. These things didn't mean anything to it because they were so attached and focused on the external mostly, that by the time this actually gets there, it's so overwhelming with the awareness and how many choices we have made that have led us down certain roads. We start to go more further into disempowerment. We start to choose that maybe it's not for me. Maybe I don't deserve it. And ultimately, because we feel so unworthy of the higher perspective and the goal and the love and the actual magic of it all, we've actually settled for disciplining ourselves and saying, well, this is why I'm not this kind of person anymore. This is why I am this way. This is why I live this life. Because we're so just beside ourselves that we can't actually physically go back and change it. We can't change those choices. We can't change anything. The acceptance, the acknowledgement is the only thing that's going to free you from that, but you have to get to the point of actually looking at it. And because it's such a big elephant in the room and humanity is so uncomfortable with it, even sitting with their own thoughts moments, thoughts and moments of time, that it just pushes this scary anxiety-filled frequency through them where they're disturbed, they're uncomfortable, they have to have attention, they have to have other people to talk to, they have to have things to do. Because if they don't have those things externally to do and focus on that constantly fuels and stimulates them, all that energy reverts inward. And there's a mass sea of things going on inside that humanity, on the most part, wants to stay away from. They are in such a disassociation with themselves that they choose that it's not worth their time. It's not, they're too old. They have job, career, family to take care of, all these different external justifications, and say that why they can't now deal with that. Because through that disempowerment, they feel that they've made so many different wrong choices that if they actually did look at it, because they're looking at themselves and that energy with the same condescending energy that they look at other people with, but also what they've basically taught themselves is right and wrong in life. And you get to that point where what is right and wrong? Well, nothing is at all. Which that would actually ultimately free humanity from a whole lot of crap just with that awareness right there. There is nothing right and there is nothing wrong. There is right action and alignment. And that's all there is in creation. This planet, this experience going on right here is the only experience currently in the entirety of creation that is the only part of creation currently in present moment out of balance with creation. Therefore, the actual main energetic, the only energetic that actually exists in creation outside this illusion, is that one alignment. So you see, there is nothing right or wrong because there's always just been truth, always just been love, always just been mom. You see, this dysfunction down here is where we have to get out of the belief systems of trying to tell ourselves what, good and bad, trying to chastise or use that as a measurement of discipline, or just like choosing to hate yourself, choosing to deny yourself, choosing to, neglect, completely disassociate and abandon yourself, thus leaving a mass of stuff that through your addictions and obsessions, after those drain and dry out and you come back to this, it's like already so overwhelming and it's just grown since you've been away in disassociation that you eject back outwards and you go right back into the dysfunction because you can't take it anymore, when all the while you still have to at some point take accountability for that energy. And you're running, you're escaping, you're trying to skirt down different avenues and holes, trying to outrun the inevitable of the truth of what you will always find yourself back at again anyways. And that is ultimately that you have to look at it and accept it. It is, yes, and all the horror and all the travesty and everything that you possibly believe, yes, it's all true. All of it. Accept it. There is nothing you can do about any of it. Accept it. Now, when you can get to this space, when you can get to that place in yourself, when you can just accept it and allow it to be, because it's always going to be. You're not going to push it out of existence. It's here. It's an actual part of the reality. So you can't push it out. You can't force it out, right? So accept it. Acknowledge it for being part of the experience. Okay? Who's judging you? What are you trying to control, really? What are you trying to do at all? What are you trying to fight away from? Right? This awareness and experience is ultimately, it's so powerful. Because when you are able to sit with yourself and really feel into that, it's like the acceptance is what really just allows the energy to start moving through. And massive block in the back of humanity's heart, this shell that does not allow the higher spirituality and the higher self to flow more into the vessel and actually be present and anchored in, is the denial of all the great, grand, gloriful, beautiful things that actually you don't deserve. You don't actually accept any of that. You can't accept that you're actually good. You can't accept that you're actually all those beautiful things. Because look at my life. Look at what I've done. Look at the choices I've made. Look what I've become at this point. I can't be beautiful. I can't be love. I can't be a good person. I can't be pure. I can't be innocent. There's no way I could be innocent. Look at what I've done. And it's just this constant banter with our one self where we deny the experiences because we can't accept that we've actually done it, but at the same time it's like, no, we don't accept the higher forms of it because, no, look at my life. So it's like we want to use it as a barter chip, not to accept our own worthiness, but at the same time we can't accept it for ourselves to actually look at it. You see, it's like this little chip the ego's playing around with humanity with. It's like, oh, I'm over here, oh, I'm over here now, oh, I'm over here now. And that's the thing, you gotta stop with the tip-tap-toe dance stuff, okay? You gotta be present, you gotta be centered, and just go head on forward, straight up, accept it, look at it, reflect on it, okay? Because this is a massive block that's not allowing you to actually experience the higher, grander things because you can never see it because you choose not to. You're afraid to actually look over the fence. You're afraid to even open up because of all the dark, horrible things you've told yourself, and you did, okay? You told yourself these things. You accepted these things yourself. You told yourself that these things that other people told you were true. So truly, you have to accept that you have been the main one, leading yourself to your own detriment. But the moment you can accept that, you can back out of it. The moment you see it and accept it, you can just back right up out of that energy and allow it to move on out now. Because now it doesn't have to be all up in your face anymore. It doesn't have to be this big monster room where we won't expand. We won't open up to faith. We won't open up into the spiritual, into the unknown, into the things that I don't know that are way beyond me. No. Because I'm not worthy of it. I can't accept that actually would exist. You see my life, it's horrible, it's awful. How could something like that so beautiful exist if we're down here in this? Does someone not care? I don't know. Do you? It's like, energy always comes right back to you. And it's always for you to look at yourself. It's like, do I care? Do I care? Did I care? The answer is no. You didn't care, which led us, all of humanity, to this point. And none of us cared. Until mom came, until we met mom. And she gave us the whole reason to care, to even be concerned for everything in life, because it all is grand and beautiful and magical. Every single thing on this planet that's organic, that's real, that grows, that's all God. It's all love, it's all heaven, it's all creation. It has always been that. It is us that put this lens, this film over all this crap and started being afraid of life, started being afraid of living different choices out and experiencing and actually growing and maturing and realizing that life is meant to be happy. But in these moments where it's so dark and there's a lot of things to move through, humanity struggles a lot with our own stability. And in this, in order to reach the higher levels of vibration and consciousness, you have got to be brave, okay? It's going to take courage and bravery to step up and do things that you may have never done in your life, that may have just caught you in that moment and you were not prepared and you didn't know it was coming. So bravery and courage are what's going to carry you through that storm. Okay? That's what's going to keep you climbing through this ascension and moving. Because if you're not going to be brave, you're not going to have courage. You got nothing in your canisters to fire off to really push when you need to. And you're going to hit some waves. It's going to feel pretty, it's going to suck. But if you look at mom's story, she's already God, right? And mom was taking on all the collective's energy, transforming it, processing it. She was looking at the timelines, doing all this work, like the family, the people, humanity, like moving everyone to the highest timeline, and getting everyone on the same boat, all that. It's like, there's a lot for one person, one being, who is all of creation, let alone in that beautiful, small, little love muffin body, Can you imagine? You can't. How brave and courageous mom had to be to accept that role. Thus also creating the example for all of us to follow as her children, because as her children, we're a lot like our mother, and always. So that ability to have courage, that ability to be brave is very much so in your whole genetic code. It's within you. Mom put it there in every single one of you. But the denial of that, the denial that say that you're some strong person, couldn't possibly stand up, couldn't possibly take your power back, couldn't possibly get your voice back, couldn't possibly say the things that I haven't been able to say my whole life. But you can. You can in a moment, and you can change it in a moment just by doing it. And it takes an incredible amount of bravery and courage for someone to really, really see the depths of where they've got to leap through and still do it anyways, trusting and having faith in the heart that mom's got them. She set it all up. And you just got to have faith in that. And it takes bravery so you can walk through that. No matter what you're going to go through, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be peachy clean. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be roses and rainbows. But in those moments, the courage and the bravery is what's going to keep you going, even when it doesn't look like you're getting anywhere. Even when it looks like you're hitting rock bottom, even when it looks like you are absolutely falling apart, going absolutely insane. Bravery and courage is what's going to get you through that. Having faith and trust. Showing yourself that no matter what you got to take on, no matter what you got to go through, you're still going to show up for you. You're still going to get your back. And no matter what, you'll get through it together. You and your heart. You and mom. Your soul. The angels, creation. Everybody is here. And humanity is the only ones that think that we are alone. Humanity are the only ones that think that we're just the forgotten ones. Or we're just alone. Yeah, we still have people like that. It's actually kind of funny. Like, I can't believe it. But they literally are. There's a lot of people on this planet that still think we are completely alone on this planet. Which actually makes it a lot more suffocating. Very, very more suffocating. Very much more suffocating. Very much more suffocating. And you can just feel and see how lonely that is, And that's what the Christianity is, like all those stupid, cabal religions and stuff, just basically trying to wall off every possible concept of a higher, basically, authority, space, that exists at the same time as we are living and breathing at the same time, like an actual force of life outside of humanity, capable to move, capable to eat, and be in their own individual right through love, that couldn't possibly exist anywhere off this planet. It doesn't exist. Or all the stories and different things could be possibly true. There's angels and dragons and fairies and gnomes and unicorns. All those different things. They're all real, right? But you see, the block on the back of the heart, the block to higher spirituality and higher self-embodiment, actually blocks this ability to see that. It blocks the childlike innocence that at one point in time you did allow this to be your truth. It was very, very real to you. And you loved it. You lived for it. It was the only thing you looked for in life. And you got tired, bored, disappointed, all your expectations, and you shut it all off. You told yourself it was a childhood's dream that you had to let go of, and move on to other things like an adult. Be responsible. Do adult things. Fuck off with all that. It's not real, all of that. It's all meant to expand you and push you to a point where you realize you've now had a big contrast. It's just an experience. All of it is an experience. All of it is an experiment. But you can't identify, you can't attach to any of it because at any moment it can change, right? And this experience of allowing this to actually occur gives you a massive contrast that, you know, at one point these things were very magical, bright, beautiful, grand, colorful, everything. And now at this point, it's like grayscale. It's black and white. It's boring. It's like it's not motivating anymore and stuff like that. It's like, how did you get to this place where you lost the brilliance in it all, the true childlike innocence? How do we get to this point? And ultimately, since humanity is so attached to lower, you know, at this point, humanity automatically thinks it's lost. It will never come back. It's old time. It's, you know, can't go back and change it. So then they slump into resentment, bitterness, regret, guilt, shame, all these different things that hold them back even more so from even choosing again in that moment to make a higher choice. Now they will bar and chain themselves to that entire frequency and the entire experience, and now they can't go up anymore. Now they've ruined it. Now they've spoiled everything. They've ruined it all. So now it's just like, why give up? Just don't do anything. You see? And so it just steals a childlike spark and magic away and doesn't allow, you know, you or anyone on this planet to fully be or see the grandness and magic that God really is in all things, that it constantly is in every moment, healing, rejuvenating everything, constantly bringing everything up to more life and expanding it, you know, into more of creation. Mom never wastes a single ounce of energy. Never will, never does. God is always in 100% alignment. God is always in 100% integrity. So everything Mom has created is for a higher purpose. Everything she has allowed is for a higher purpose. Everything that she has, you know, moved into the timeline, it's all highest out of the 100% of the purest intention to get every single one of us back home to her in 5D. So what are you fighting for? What are you holding yourself off and hesitating for and choosing not to allow that vulnerability? Because knowing that your mother has got you, and she's right there with you, you can let go. You can really let go and see what happens. And that's going to be the unknown that you must surrender to and have faith. Be brave. Be brave enough to experience something you maybe have never had before. But if it's highest, if it's coming from love and truth and integrity, what are you really afraid for? What's holding you back from allowing that experience to actually come in and show you how to let it go? The realization, the healing, what the whole thing has been the whole time is never even, it wasn't even what you thought it was. But we've spent so much time stalling ourselves on these things. We've actually created more layers on top of it, but we can't even remember what actually the problem originally was. It's just constant perpetuation over and over and over again, becoming a redundancy and a behavioral pattern that ultimately is just something that we just do. There's not even a reason or intention even behind it anymore. It's just constantly robotic. And thus waking ourselves up, becoming alive, and actually breathing into our being again and stopping this behavioral pattern shit, it's going to start bringing us lower and lower, deeper into ourself, to where we can actually see the core woundings, the core findings of what's actually been dictating this whole experience together. What's actually been driving my insanity, my dysfunction, all these different things that are just tearing me apart inside. I got to find and dig for it and look at it. Because it's stealing the magic from your eyes. It's stealing everything that you can possibly hope for. It's ripping it completely out of your hands before you can even receive it. Because you told yourself at some point that it wasn't for you. You told yourself at some point you weren't worthy of it, didn't deserve it. You've done too many wrong things that you couldn't possibly achieve that now at this point. You've spoiled too much. All of that has to be looked at and just accepted as you gave up, really. You quit on yourself, and because nobody showed up for you to save you, Just a lost cause. And you wrote yourself off when all the while, the entire time, the only person that was ever supposed to show up for you was yourself. And pick yourself up and keep moving through the same things that you thought someone was supposed to carry you through. It was always supposed to be you showing up for yourself. That's what mom showed you. Mom had to like completely save all of our asses on this planet and completely push back and fight off and really kick some dark butt, to get us out of some mess we were in. And now it's really up to your choice now, because God's cleared it all. She is, fully secured this ascension. So you can choose, like, if you, like, actually physically just, are you ready? Are you really ready for that grand life that you sit there and told yourself there's just a fantasy, or you had dreams and wishes, all these beautiful things that, at some point you just thought it just wasn't achievable. You don't have enough years left. You don't have the education. You don't have, like, the money, all these different things to achieve these dreams and wishes anymore. So they're just things, Are you ready to finally realize that all those things really are true? Not only just true, but every single thing that you probably have ever wished or dreamed for that is highest for you, God has realized the highest idea. Anything you could possibly have ever dreamed of, thought of for yourself, or doing, or like the craziest out there thing, God has achieved the highest idea of that same idea you have. She's evolved it to the highest extent of itself, fully realizing that same idea, not from what you saw it, but the way God saw that idea. The way God saw this, boy, this might be something completely different. This is what we saw. You see, so we have to surrender and let go of thinking we know better, thinking that we have got the roadmap, the menu, the everything that we need to actually make it. We don't. You don't even know what you're looking for, what you're feeling for. You don't. And you must surrender, you must trust, you must let go and allow these things to take place and come to you organically and flow. Hey everybody, beautiful souls. Love you, brother. Again, the waves are real. Humanity has nowhere else to go than within. Blame, game over, let go of it all. Only allow in your experience, choose change into grandeur. Spending time with Mama, as in Mother Earth, out in nature, is what helps us release and recharge with clear, pure love. Love you, Mama. Love you all. Love you, Kat. She said, allow love. and yeah, you got to like allow that love in. Mom is so abundant. This whole entire planet is abundant in every single thing. But you actually don't realize, like, it's not actually that it's not accessible to you. You don't choose it. You don't. Either it takes too much time, you're not patient, or like blah, 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 blah. But the main fact that it's available to you, you can't deny that. It's just a matter of choice, And like just with the trees, outside, the ground, like when was the last time you went outside and laid on your back in the grass? When was the last time you hugged a tree? When was the last time you touched a tree and felt it, All these different experiences that are so easy you could just walk out your door and do. And how many people don't even do that? How many people don't even do that, It's like you are choosing to hate yourself. You literally do. You are choosing to have the shittiest experience possible right now in this moment just by not doing the simplest things that Mom has put right there for you. Isn't that something? Yeah, and that's how deep our self-hatred goes. For ourselves, for each other. And when we think we're like helping each other, a lot of times it's more enabling. It's more hatred upon them, causing people to suffer longer instead of just being real and transparent, which they can just let that go and keep moving forward. Thank you. And the perpetual cycle of wanting to stay in the dysfunction, of just needing to be attached to all the different technicalities and categories, racism, all this stuff like business and school and just these things that we've attached to that we think are going to fill our life up so much and just so we can be showy of it. And like, these are my achievements in this life, and I've done this, and it's so boring at this point. Because nobody, let's be honest, everybody starting off as a child, nobody wanted any of this shit. Okay? Not a single thing in the adult world, none of this. We didn't want any of it, right? The fun, the magic, the beauty, the passion of life and everything, that's being in the moment, the innocence of all the life, that's where we were. Then when it all started getting all shitty and dark and just very crappy, and then it's just like we settled for it. That's what happened. You settled for it. You didn't want it. You didn't choose it. You settled for it, right? And then this is where we're like, you're not worthy. You didn't think you deserved better, right? And that's why you would settle. Be honest. Look at it. Because if you thought you deserved more, you would have pushed. You would have been upset. You would have kept driving yourself. But at some point, you're like, well, you know what? This isn't so bad. Well, I got this here, and I can do this. I mean, like, this isn't so bad. And it's settling, constantly settling, and justifying where you're at, and that, oh, well, this isn't so bad, so you don't have to move to a higher vibration. You don't have to change everything that makes you uncomfortable, that you're so obsessed with. That's why you're settling. That's why it's okay now. But you never actually wanted it from the beginning. This wasn't something you wanted to live out. This wasn't something you wanted to go through. So don't be lying to yourself and just like, oh, well, this is my... No, it's not. It's your false identification with it, and it's not even real. And you have to let go of everything that you've settled for, everything that you feel just is just you. It's not really you. But you keep telling that to yourself every single day. It's going to become you more and more and more until you don't even know who you are. And then the fear at that point is going to be in really letting it go and having to really now reflect and really get to know yourself all over again from the start. Because you absolutely don't know what you're going with. Because that's how much you have alienated yourself and disassociated yourself from your own being. Constantly running in flight into something else that wasn't even real. And wasting all these moments and time living in a shell, in a bubble. Numb, completely drained of energy. And now that life is pouring back through you, the emotions are exploding up and you're starting to feel again. Everything is scary. Everything is running you wild in your mind. And you can't seem to get a grip of things anymore. And that's exactly where mom wants you to be at. Because you thought for so long that you were going to have this held out. You thought for so long you were going to go about it your way. And that you had it all planned to a T. And look at what you're doing now. You're crashing very hard. Because now all the things that you've set up externally outside yourself are not really working out now, are they? They're not really doing so well as you had planned them to be. Because now the system is crashing, it's falling. Thus it's triggering everything that you have ever externally attached to or tried to put into physical manifestation to completely just fall on your face. And that's the experience we chose, the hard lessons we chose, because we absolutely refused anything higher. We refused our healing, we refused our own self-love. We refused to even accept the truth, blinding ourselves further, just walking forward into more dysfunction till we kept hitting more walls and it couldn't go further. Mom had to completely put a stop to that. We're not going to run in circles anymore. We're not going to keep being in denial anymore and not looking at ourselves anymore, thus staying in this hell that you keep praying and asking for deliverance from. Don't you see the redundancy and the insanity in that? To keep holding on to the nightmare, asking to be saved from it. Absolutely insanity. Yet that's what humanity chooses every single day. Because everything that they know, yet they can't possibly let it go and accept anything that's unknown to them. It's too scary. They're afraid. So now mom's got to really come in the back door and she's just got to start pulling plugs out. And she's just got to get the waterworks going and make shit just start booming. And as you start flowing into these experiences, you're going to get the hang of it. You're going to get the hang of the feeling. You're going to get a hang of what's going on. And at some point, you're going to choose to start swimming. You're going to choose to start going up to the surface and breathing that air because it felt way better than suffocating, drowning underneath the waves. And you'll learn to support yourself out of what feels better. You'll learn to trust yourself out of what feels better. And it's the only way for you to actually truly know, because we are children and we are innocent, truly. And that might spin a lot of people and shock a lot of people and have just a massive pill, but you got to swallow it because it's the truth. Every single person on this planet, at the core, truly is still innocent. Because we are all God. We are all love. We are all souls, pieces of the whole diamond. We are all God. We're mom. And so everyone truly is on this planet innocent. And truly is worthy of love and truly does deserve the best, grandest experience in their life. But if you don't choose that and you don't accept that for yourself, how are you going to see it anyway? How are you going to plan for it? How can you even see it coming at all? Because you've already written it off. You've already destroyed every possible bridge that led to that, you feel. You think, actually, not feel. And you tell yourself these things every day, belittling yourself, ridiculing yourself in self-criticism and judgment and opinion, making yourself feel like this disgusting thing, this low, dark thing, this corrupt person, this hard, tough person that's had to really endure a life of terror. And so now you are this thing. All this pride and arrogance and just choosing just to put on different masks because you can't actually just be real with yourself and really look at what have I just walked through? What have I been doing the last 5 years of my life? Have I even gotten anywhere with this? Are things changing? Are things healing? Am I getting to the core? Am I getting to know myself even more? Or am I just letting time slip by? Am I just sitting back and allowing things just to pass by me and just settle for what stops? Settle for what comes? Settle for however the events transpire? Settle for everything that happens without even lifting a finger or feeling accountable at all, responsible at all for any of it that I'm actually observing in my experience. Total just unplug from reality and cognitive dissonance. The cognitive dissonance on this planet is like an all-time high, man. It's like angels. What would that be? Like 69% cognitive dissonance collectively on this planet. That's a high number for billions of people. That's a massive high number, but that's where everybody's at. You see now 69% cognitive dissonance, like that's where they're not here. They're not even here at all. Like they're looking at you, woo, and they're not there. Right? Like that's crazy. Yet that's why so much dysfunction has even been allowed to happen on this planet. This is how evasive humanity has even been and what they are actually watching in front of them happen. And this is why so much dysfunction has even been allowed to even enter this planet and be a part of human society for so long. Because of that right there. Completely unplugged is not even there. Completely just twerking and contorting, manipulating everything that's coming in. They're not even present enough to actually receive the whole truth of that. That for me, that is absolutely insane. Let's see, looking at what's up with the comments. Oh, I love you all. Yeah, I love you all. And this is really important. This is so important, because kind of moving back to the back of the heart space, collectively wise for humanity, the back of the heart that's where mom says like the connection from her comes from, like your connection to God, comes through the back of the heart into your being, animating yourself completely, so it's like if you have a massive block there, it's like more like you're actually cutting yourself off from God on purpose. You're choosing not to like allow all that to even be real. Trying to settle for this very basic, contradictory, like, like box of crap that somehow you're supposed to stuff down your throat and accept, and that's your life. That's what you came here to this planet for. This is what you would call a life for you. And the crazy thing about that is a lot of people still think they only have one life. That's the crazy thing. They still think they've only had one. This is the only one they've ever lived. I find that way more concerning, and like I am very, very concerned, that people still to this day, like adults, like are so just like set on this. If you only had one life, if you only had one, and that's the only one that you've got, you never existed before. This is your first time, and it's like, this, you see what I'm saying? Like, and this is what you do with it. This is what you do with that one time around thing, and then you just like disappear after this. You only here for like 60, 80 years, 100 years, and then you're gonna die, and then what happens to you after that? You're like, oh, I don't know, just disappear. So okay, so you get this one little snapshot, and you do this with it? Come on, and that's the crazy thing. It's like how small humanity tries to make everything and very linear, and yet you see what they actually do with it still. The lack of gratitude, lack of care, lack of respect, just like treating it like shit, just feeling a life of crap. All the while to come to the end point, you're like, wow, I wish I had more time. Well, why would you wish you had more time? Well, there's some things I like to do. Well, why would you wish you like to do them now? Because I didn't do them back then. Well, why didn't you do them back then? Because I wasn't present with myself. And wonderful. We can finally get to that point. Being present with yourself and acting from the present moment and making those choices now, so we're not going to be that person then, right? And that's mom's ultimate goal. That's mom's ultimate intention with all this, is she's going to push everyone to the highest timeline, and that truly means you're going to get it on the double. It's a hustle now at this point. The moments, for like the slow pace and all that was like years ago, right? We in the hustle now, all right? We are hustling forward, and we're going to get this. And it's going to constantly test you every single time going forward. Like, it's going to challenge you. Because you have to know this. You have to feel it in your entire being that you've got this mastered. You've got it down. You know what trust is with yourself. You know what confidence is with yourself. You know what courage and bravery is with yourself. You know it and you feel it because it is your experience, and you are living it every moment. Practicing that. Therefore, it is what you are. You are the example of it. Therefore, your experience will reflect it back to you. And vice versa. It will keep going and going and going. Humanity has to get to that point. Humanity has to get to awareness of how these energetics and how things work in creation truly. Outside this box of linear perspective, that's just completely a waste of time. It's all mind game with yourself. And you'll never see the higher perspective or get the higher awareness if you're still going to reference it with this outdated box of crap that never worked in the first place. It's the constant generator of your dysfunction, the mind, right? So letting that go and just choosing the unknown, choosing to have faith and trust in the unknown, will allow you to actually start learning things you don't know. You get it? If it's the unknown, you don't know. So you have to not know in order to start to get it, right? Oh my God, that's such some awesome fucking codes right there. That's amazing. Let's see. Joanne, yes, but isn't there new souls having a first life? No. There are no new souls on this planet experiencing their first life because of the conditions and the state of this planet. This planet, like I said a little whiles before, currently is the only zone, the only area in creation right now, currently under quarantine and blocked from connecting the rest of creation to where that dysfunction can't spread and infect anything else. But this is the only space in creation and life right now that currently is dealing with this thing called the illusion. Therefore, the souls that had to incarnate physically on this planet are some of the most ancient, oldest souls in creation that have been existing for billions of years. No absolutely new souls having a first life. This planet needed the highest to fully embody and anchor here and bring our mastery and our light here with Mom and connect with Mom on this planet and push on mission, thus bring us through ascension. So like we needed masters, we needed beings that Mom had already worked with, had given birth to eons ago, to put through all these different lifetimes and reincarnations through other places, other planets, other universes across of all creation. That by the time it came to actually handle this planet, where the rest of the darkness and density was actually pushed, we needed the highest members of the light of heaven and creation to be here in these moments to help facilitate this, to actually bring in the light and anchor that, and also help break out of the dysfunction, because we can clearly see today the programming and the dysfunction is very, very deep. Very, very deep. So for new souls, they would have no chance. They would absolutely have not a single chance coming into, let alone their first incarnation, their first experience, but also the first experience at all, and it be this. Like, the beings here on this planet have been reincarnated over, just eons and eons of times. So, like, being just, how intense it is for us now down here and what we have lived through, you could only imagine it being your first experience ever. And it was this. Oh my God. Like, I would not have nothing within me to even, like, God would never do that to anyone. This is a travesty. This is a very crazy, insane, traumatic, out of balance, fucked up planet, an experience that's not even real. It's a part of the illusion, thus we are going through it in a real experience so we can heal it, transform it back to light, and actually get back to 5D. That's a massive process, and that takes a lot of times being incarnated, being through soul experiences, to be able just to organically, like, the whole body, just like completely come online, start to have memory of like all these different other pastimes, the codes, the DNA start to work, to where all this training and mastery you've made over so many different lifetimes starts to come online organically, and you start to sense these things. You start to have your own orientation through feeling centers of what is going on, what is highest. My ear just rang, and being able to be anchored and set in that and moving forward. So all these experiences, everything, it can all truly be grander. It can all truly be highest if you choose it, if you allow it, because it is available. God is abundant. God is every and all things. Jessica, you think reincarnation is still happening, just only with old souls? No, reincarnation is over. This is the last time of reincarnation. So the next phase is ascension, which we are currently physically going through now to nullify the reincarnation process. We will physically ascend through this process on this planet now. So this experience taking place, it is, yes, only for old souls, ancient beings to be here, because the human experience has to evolve to 5D. So the souls that came into the human experience had to be already trained and masters of how to actually go through an ascension process, who have already done it so many times, because once they fully start to wake up, it's like literally every being on this planet, you have a planet of billions of people. You can't have billions of people just making their own choices, just doing whatever they want. No, they have to be aware. It's like, okay, this is highest. This is what we are here for. So my purpose is something they can feel in their soul, because they've done it so many times. Every single one of us. So no new souls have come in at this point. Those all the new baby babies, that haven't had any soul experience or reincarnation or incarnation experience. Those, probably be left for way after 5D, where humanity can actually have an environment that's not so chaotic and traumatic that would just like completely just demolish like a brand new. Are you telling like a brand new spark of life from on like? That'd be absolutely insane to go through this the first time around. It's like, whoa, like that's crazy. So Uh, Jessica, what do you believe is happening with people that are passing on at this moment, ascending? Yes, everybody is ascending. There is no hell that we're going to go to. You're already in it. So for all the beings that are, like getting pulled off the planet, that are, dying or whatever experiences are kind of like, taking them off physically being here on this planet, they are ascending in a way. They're going to the starships. They're having soul reviews. And this is an incredibly like new part of the process too, because at a certain time, not that long ago, the Cabal system was still very much in effect, where it was grabbing souls after we were dying on this planet. It was grabbing souls and bringing them back, and it was like just re-pulling them into the grid. So basically nobody like got off the planet, and it was like this rerun to where they kept pulling and siphoning the soul energy from us, the Cabal, and keeping us stuck here to the illusion, the Matrix. So Mom had to break that all down and completely demolish it to a point where that whole process was reestablished. So all the beings that are going, on the planet at this point, that are dying and stuff like that, all of them are going straight to Mom. They're going to the starships. All of them are going to the starships. Even the Cabal, they're all going to the starships, and they all have soul reviews where they have massive. And the quantity of time is incredibly different from the linear perspective that humanity has, with the etheric. So like up there, like a moment down here could be like 10 years up there. You see that? And so like, they go up there to those soul review, and they literally are in that space for however duration long, whatever, and they reflect. They have soul reviews of their whole life, every single detailed choice, everything that they ever did or made, and everything. And they become aware of Mom fully. They realize the divine plan. They see all of creation. Like everything automatically 100% becomes known to them once they get to the ships and have their soul review. They remember everything. Absolutely. And so that's where all the souls are going. It's don't have to worry about anyone like actually going to hell from here, because you've been living through it your whole life. But on the other token, definitely, after the soul review, of course, whatever in creation, whatever the divine plan, and just how the rest of creation goes about living, existing at those moments, I guess that would be ready and available to you. But while we're here in the physical experience, it's so important to focus on the physical, and just being here, because it's already a huge plate to deal with down here. Let's see, Joanne. So when we look at our grandchildren, we are looking at old souls that came here to carry out their mission. This amnesia is crap. Yep, absolutely. Every soul, every baby, it's just like a constant like nope, get back down there. Nope, get back in there. Now if you were pulled off on purpose, like if it was intended to pull you out because you were just a nasty ego, and you just you didn't want to let shit go. It's like, all right, pull them and get them off, and like you're off mission. You don't need to come back down there. We'll just put people down. It's like it's all high, whatever's highest to Mom, but however she pushes it and chooses. But yes, everybody here is definitely a skilled soul on so many levels. You've been through the reincarnation process more than once in your soul existence, and these are abilities that you've acquired through those different experiences, training on other planets, being other things. So nobody is an absolutely like brand new chicken soul. No, not on this planet. Way too incredibly intense. I have so many goosebumps right now with you saying this. Yeah, it's true. Your body light ups. That's the truth, Compass. And yeah, these things are these things are definitely a part of the experiences that are coming, that are currently happening. There's a lot of emotions on this planet right now, and it is currently rising, and it's just going to keep exploding upwards, because we have to release. We have to let things go. We have to feel, whether you got to cry it out, scream it out, run it out, do something. But you got to release this energy building inside of you, because there's so much coming that you have to receive, and you can't hold anymore if you're holding everything already. He's like, let this go, and then you can have better. Oh, that's so awesome, right? And it's a lot more simpler said than done. It is. And that's where you got to push yourself. That's where you got to trust yourself and really pray. Have faith. Have love for yourself. Really allow yourself the enthusiasm of a higher perspective and a grander outcome than your usual like shitty ending that you keep telling yourself or carrying on in your back pocket that is always a possibility. That shitty ending is like, just let it go. Just don't even think about it. Just don't even let it be anything anymore. Just push for the highest. Push for the greatest, grandest, perspective, goal, and just go for it. You have no idea what can happen if you fully let yourself have it. But if you give yourself every freaking doubt and stupid reason in the rule book of why it won't work out or why you can't have it or why you'll never achieve it, you'll never get there. It's dumb. Stop doing it to yourself. Stop pulling the rug out from underneath you and actually love yourself enough to show up and be like, all right, cool. I got this. It's a possibility. I can make it. I'm worthy of it. I deserve it. All right, let's just go. And really step out in courage. Step out in bravery and actually go for it. Like mom has set everything up, okay? So if you trust God, what are you scared of? How much are you in just refusal to let yourself have a better life and let shit go? Why? What does that dysfunction and that pain and suffering really mean to you? What has it brought to you? Is it allowing you to even breathe at this point in your life? Probably not. You're probably not even breathing properly right now. And we have to let it go in order to realize and experience the greater, grander, better things that are already at our door, but we can't let them in until we get the bullshit out. We have to spring clean, get it all out, love yourself a bit, and things are going to start changing. And you're just going to be like, wow, you're not going to be able to believe it. That's going to be true magic. When you start really realizing it changing in front of your eyes as you are applying it, it's like, whoa. That's crazy, and that's completely self-empowerment. You're pushing yourself. You're trusting in mom to carry you. And these other things that you sit there and make so complicated and complex systems and ways of doing things, it's like it was just meant to tire you out, meant to be full of disappointments and just prolonged things that by the time you get halfway through it, of course you would run out of energy. Of course you would get drained. So of course you couldn't follow through all the way. But you set yourself up for failure. You set yourself up for the self-fulfilling prophecy of denial, destruction, corruption, and manipulation to where you're always going to make it to that point in your self-fulfilling prophecy because you keep telling yourself it's going to happen. And then who's going to break that cycle? You. You got to make a different choice. Decide that you are worth it. Decide that you are so ready for this and you just got to step into it. Just go for it. And mom will be right there every single step for you, okay? But you have to trust God. So I love you all so very much, okay? Take care of yourselves, drink lots and lots of water, go outside and ground, write a gratitude ceremony for all the things that you are grateful for, the things that you are being shown, the realizations, and just how just amazing it actually feels just to love yourself enough to feel. Let these emotions out, cry it out, really look at your life and really see how much of a crazy person you really are to make it through such an insane ride. But here you are, you made it, you're still breathing, you're alive, you're beautiful, you're loved. So let's do this together and just choose a better way, okay? Because it's going to change everything for you. And then that's where you'll truly find the gratitude. Because you're going to be living the experience that you told yourself for so many years wasn't coming. Okay? Mom has got this. She's got it in the bag. She's already secured it. She's already anchored it in. But you got to open your eyes and you got to see it. And it's not going to happen until you move all the bullshit out the way and really, really just trust yourself to really see the truth. Accept whatever it is. And that's what's going to free you. Okay? I love you all. Take care of yourself. Have a beautiful night.